Judge Kavanaugh got the nomination not because he'll be an impartial judge on behalf of all Americans, but because he passed President Trump's litmus tests: repeal women's freedom for their reproductive rights, repeal America's health care, including protection of pre-existing conditions. If Judge Kavanaugh was to be confirmed, women's reproductive rights would be in the hands of 5 men on the Supreme Court. He has written troubling decisions rejecting something 90% of Americans want: common sense gun laws. He has undone environmental protections. He's challenged them. And our Clean Air and Clean Water Acts would be at risk. He would make it far more difficult for regulations to exist to enforce those laws. And here's the most amazing thing. He has gone so far as to say that a president doesn't need to follow the law if he, quote, deems it unconstitutional. Folks, here we have a president, President Trump, who cares less about rule of law, less about the restraints that every other president has felt, put in place by the Constitution and the norms that have blessed this great country for 200 years. And we're going to put on the bench someone who says, if this president, President Trump's deemed some law unconstitutional, he doesn't have to follow it. How many Americans think that the president would be judicious and limited in doing that? It's not the president I've seen over the last year and a half. Judge Kavanaugh's background as a partisan political operative seems exactly like the kind of man President Trump would want on the Supreme Court if legal issues from the Mueller probe arise. Deferential to a fault to executive authority, and with a long track record of partisan politics. Judge Kavanaugh's long track record of partisan politics comes with a long paper trail. The Senate must now be able to have access and time to adequately review all documents, emails, other paperwork associated with Judge Kavanaugh before the process moves forward. Judge Kavanaugh's papers may be critical to helping the American people understand the kind of jurist that Judge Kavanaugh would be on the Supreme Court. And if that makes us take a little more time, so be it. This is one of the, as the president himself has said, this is one of the most consequential nominations we have had in a generation.